Hi guys, and fair warning, this video will contain things like abuse, neglect, and some slight gore. Completely understand if those things are not for you, but go ahead and, click off this video and find something nice to watch, because it will get sad sometimes. Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about I will learn how to talk, oh my gosh, I'm just mumbling. But I will be talking about my OCs. I don't have everything figured out, so right now I would say this is a work in progress. But I do have the basics down of how I want the childhood to be, personalities, and like how they meet. And just gonna be talking about them today. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so first I'm gonna be talking about Pika, which is like a parasitic demon pig that haunts Asher every waking moment, just taunts him. And they know each other since Asher was a kid. He actually also made Asher like eat and kill his parents just for fun, just because he felt like doing it. And Asher unfortunately can't get rid of him as much as he tries, so they're basically tied together. And they are constantly like torturing each other and just getting out each other's throats every chance they get. First off, we're gonna be talking about Asher. Now, Asher always had a dream of having a loving family, like the ones you see on TV, a good working husband, a loving wife, with some cute kids. Because unfortunately, he didn't have that in his own home. And, he always knew it was wrong. Like, this was not the proper household to have. And he just often idolized seeing the perfect little family and just having that for himself one day. Whenever Asher parents was not at home or was asleep, he would just will watch these like classic like shows, kind of like Andy Griffin, I Love Lucy, and stuff over and over again, because he would just always imagine that and he wanted that so bad. It didn't help that his dad was constantly like in and out of the house, and his mother resented him often because she basically, those moms that only have a baby because they want to keep the dad, but then they realize when the dad's not gonna stick around, they end up blaming the kid. That's basically what his mom was like. So he often felt like it was his responsibility to be super important, even though he knew it wasn't like his fault. So he just kind of always wanted to be like a leader, just be there for everybody, and it was just really hard because he wanted to approve, be like good to his mom, but he also like really resented his mom and his dad because his mom only had him to keep the dad around. Then dad don't even want to be around, so he's like, y'all just some clusterfucks basically, and I gotta be stuck with y'all. But at the same time, he couldn't help but at least want to do some good. So he always did his chores, always like tended to the farm. And he just did basically everything he was told, even though his parents would often still neglect and resent him. Astro would find himself mainly hanging out with the farm animals because, again, he just didn't really care to be around his parents if he could help it. And his favorite animal was the pigs because he thought he was cute, and pigs are also known to be very smart. And he just enjoyed feeding the pigs, and that was like his main animal on the farm to take care of. So one day, Mama Pig obviously was having some babies, and this is actually where Pigger gets introduced because, and this is gonna be kind of gory, but basically when Astro was trying to help the mom pig give birth, Pigger ate his way out of like her womb through her stomach, and Astro was obviously kind of like, okay, that's kind of weird, and you know he went to his parents. He's like, the baby pig killed the mom, and they were just like, okay, so she died during childbirth, and Astro was trying to like explain to them, no, like he did some freaky shit, like what the heck, and I was like, bro, shut up. So Pigga was just not a regular baby pig, and he would just follow Astro around, like mess with him, and eventually he started talking to him. Now Astro would try to tell his parents at first, but they wasn't listening, so he was like, okay, I guess I'm stuck with this thing, and Astro would constantly you know, be freaked out and just taunted by the pig. Eventually, the pig started doing stuff around the house that would get more and more trouble, and Asher just started to not take it. So this is when the torture on both sides started. So occasionally, Asher would end up getting in trouble because maybe they'll catch him like kicking the pig or screaming at the pig, and they'd be like, "Bro, like it's a freaking pig, like." On top of that, as a baby, just leave it alone. And he'd be like, oh my gosh, like what the heck is wrong with y'all? Like why can't y'all see what I'm seeing? And not everything was sad because throughout his childhood he knew Essence, and I'll obviously talk about Essence a bit later. But Essence will often run away to like the woods like area where Asher lived, and they just end up meeting one day, and she will occasionally just run away over there. So they'll like play, hang out all day, and Asher just had peace of mind when he was around Essence because he was like, I finally got a friend I can talk to, and he just didn't feel worried about around her or anything. Now, obviously, they'll try to Asher try his best to like be away from Pika as much as possible when Essence was around because he was like, I don't want to sound crazy, and I don't want him doing anything. Unfortunately, now obviously this got a bit harder because one day Essence told him that she can't come anymore, and this was kind of like the start of when Asher really started to get hurt because, like I said, Essence was like one of his only pieces of mind where he didn't feel endangered or hurt or lost or confused. So when Essence left and she just didn't even leave a way to contact her, he started to really fall apart. And this is when everything Pika would do, all the small torture and stuff, finally started to like break him, along with his parents' often abuse and neglect, and the resentment he had with them overall. This started with the punishment Asher would get. So whenever he got in trouble, it was typical: no dinner, no breakfast, no nothing. So a lot of times Asher would be starving and just very hungry, and Pika would taunt him, be like, "Ha, you can't eat anything." And one day, Asher was just like so hungry, he was like, I might as well just eat this thing. So he tries to eat it, and he's like, dude, like, why don't you eat something that will actually be like a full meal? And Asher's like, what are you talking about? No, there's like nothing else to eat. Like, mom and dad took everything and made sure they have all the food, so I won't get nothing. He's like, I'm not talking about the food. I'm talking about something that can really fill you up really fast. And this starts with cannibalism. Now, obviously, when I write this out, it's going to be more written. I'm just kind of giving like the summary of every little thing. So, Asher, in a state of hunger, ends up murdering his parents with an axe because that's like iconic or whatever. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, how in the world did this dude get away with eating and killing his parents? Like, how in the world does that even make any type of sense? They do live on a farm, kind of on that like the outskirts of town a little bit. And Asher will mainly do like all the deliveries, all the work mainly as he got older. So people started to just kind of only recognize Asher and knew like they knew of his parents, but it wasn't like enough for people. It kind of got to the point where everyone's like, yeah, okay, I guess Asher's doing all the work. And often he would cover for his parents and be like, oh, my dad's out of town doing other work when really the dad was probably just at home watching TV, not caring about anything. Or, getting drunk at the bar. So people not really seeing his parents wasn't too much of a shock or anything. It was just kind of like, okay, that's just what it is. On top of that, Asher was homeschooled, and homeschooled for him really means just he had to watch the news and go on Google occasionally because his mom was like, I don't know, she just didn't believe in school and thought it was like something to oppress people in the minds. His mom was like one of those kind of like making a lot of like theories that don't really make any sense. Like, like a person be like, oh, vaccinations are just stupid overall. And even though there are proof that vaccinations can work, now, if you're skeptical on some certain vaccinations, I am too. I'm not even gonna lie, but there are certain vaccinations where there's nothing but proof that works, and it's kind of like, okay, now you're just kind of being ridiculous. As Asher grew older, he ended up becoming a butcher. Now, his meat, haha, but his meat is like the best meat of all. Like everyone always comes to get his barbecue and all that stuff. He's honestly really like friendly, and you would never even guess he had like some sort of dark past or like evil secrets. Now Pigga is still messing with him around to this day, and he still occasion gets him to do evil, vile things. Or Pigga would like to mess with him and do messed up stuff in front of him. Like sometimes he will like eat people and then like bring Asher like a body part of the person, which is constantly putting Asher on edge because he'd rather not have the cops come to him. And then he tries to say, "Oh, it's not me. It's this like demon pig that's been messing with me since I was a child." Because that's obviously very believable. Personality wise, Asher is kind of a typical like main hero guy western type character a bit. Or at least he likes to play off of that and get inspired from that often from time to time. So he's always the leader, uh, and always wants to like lead people to like victory and all that. Oftentimes he can be a bit over his head. He's honestly very charismatic and funny, and he just like always wants to be there for everybody. There are some times where he gets overwhelmed and he tries to do too much, where his friends have to remind him that like, hey, dude, like we're friends. Like you don't have to do everything, and you don't have to worry about that because we're not going to ditch you or forsake you or anything like that. Okay, so originally I was gonna have all my characters in one video, but now I realized that would be at least 40 minutes because each one was about like 10 minutes. I was like, no one's gonna sit here and listen to someone mumbling for like 10 minutes. I'm just gonna break it down to parts, and hopefully you just like what I have so far. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you really do like it. We'll really appreciate it. And you guys have a good rest of your day. See ya.